How's things for you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. I really appreciate you doing this. Actually,
That's all right.
it always fascinates me with people that have never heard of me and who have got quite a profile. Go, yeah, I'll do that.
I like persistence.
Do you?
Not yeah, to a certain extent.
As long as it's not too much.
It depends on the person. Obviously, I'd probably get. I don't know it's been like 15, 20 a day podcasts, and
Really?
yeah, it's just got a bit nutty, really. So I've just now created a form which basically get people to fill out, and it's quite an in-depth one. So if you can
Yeah.
make it past the form, then there's a possibility.
Brilliant. Well, I've done well then.
Yeah, you've got in there just in time, so it's good.
Before the form came out, probably. Can you hear me? I think I'm frozen. One sec. Just switching my internet because I'm on foot two. Right. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, all good.
Cool. Okay. So today I'm recording a podcast episode. My podcast, it starts with you. I'm really delighted to say today that I have the amazing Jamie Alderton on, or Jay Alderton. What do you prefer, Jamie or Jay?
Jay's easier, but Jamie, either or, depends. I think most people call me Jay. It's nice and easy.
Yeah, because is your website Jay Alderton? I think it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, cool. But I first I've seen you all over social media and stuff like that, and then I went to a Shah Wasnam event, and I saw you there. And actually, I've just come off a call to Shah, and I literally had to cut her off to come to you.
I'm sure she'll love that.
Yeah, I didn't actually tell her. I said, Shah, I've got to go. Sorry, I'm recording a podcast. She was like, all right, go. But I'll tell her later. It was you anyway. And then I listened to you on Rob Moore's podcast. Rob's, I'm happy to say, my mentor. And so, yeah, you sort of come to the fore and the prominence. And when I first saw you, I thought, yeah, I like that guy because he really challenges himself. And I love a challenge, not to your degree, but I like a challenge. So anyway, that's how I found out about you. I liked what you do. That's why I wanted you to be on the podcast. So who is Jay Alderton? Who is Jamie Alderton?
I think first and foremost, I'm a dad, and that's one of the most proudest things. I have a 10, just turning 11-month-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. Other than family life, 3 of my main passions are body, brain, and business. So helping people transform kind of all 3 by just simplifying things down and just sharing a lot of wisdom that I've had over the years with all 3. I've competed at a very high level.
Yeah.
With my body, I've pushed myself into lots of things and tested my kind of physical strength with regards to lots of different things in the body. Brain, I always kind of challenged myself to stay kind of an open book, to always listen, learn, and always realize that, life's a never-ending quest for knowledge, I would say. And the minute that you think you know everything is the minute that you know nothing. So that's very much the way I look at my brain. And then business, one of my passions is helping fitness professionals and small businesses get to kind of understand better social media, marketing, and stuff that I've genuinely had a enjoyment, passion, and success with over the years. And a lot of what I do with the 3 is just simplifying things down and drawing it in crayon, because if my 6-year-old daughter can't understand it, then I don't know it well enough myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why one of the things I like about you is because that's very much like there's so much stuff out there in the world that we could learn from business mindset and from our physique, our fitness, but a lot of it, like I came out of school with nothing, zero education. So everything needs to be dumbed down for me to get it. And I just like the way you put things across. It kind of just makes it simple, really.
Yeah, I think people are afraid to tell people that they don't know something. And I think people are afraid to ask people to elaborate. And there seems to be a massive tendency for people to come across as intelligent and smart, but a lot of that is based on their own fears, not necessarily the fact that they know anything.
Yeah.
Kind of masking insecurities, which I tend to say to people, look, exactly the same as me. I failed my GCSEs. I scraped through college. And the only reason that I joined the army at 17 is because I would have probably gone to prison 6 months later. So, if I can do it, anybody can. I think that's the most important message that I put out there, to say, look, you put a lot of people on a pedestal to say, yeah, but that person's special. But when you realize that nobody is special and they've just, the only difference is experience, really, and grit and determination, you kind of find the success and clues in anything to become a success.
Yeah, I mean, you could have all those skills in the world, but if you haven't got that grit and desire, then it's a waste of time. And you can have all the knowledge in the world as well, but again, if you don't have that grit, that desire, and that passion, I think really, then it's a waste of time.
Yeah,
It's not going to get anywhere.
and it's the ability to apply yourself and make mistakes. I think a lot of people are afraid to fuck up.
Yeah,
People are afraid to make those mistakes, and I haven't got where I am today from the successes. It's learning from the failures and what not to do.
yeah. I mean, one of my first really early mentors about 20 years ago, when I first got into personal development, I always remember him saying to me, and he was a millionaire, he was doing really well, and he said, "Sam, you just got to fail your way to success." And I've never forgotten that. I mean, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm still failing and still getting there. But I'll never give up. And that's one of my big, and like you said before we sort of set this in motion, I don't give up on things. I'm not the smartest, not the brightest, but I keep going. And that seems to be what you've done as well.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, a lot of people say I'm not where I want to be, but whoever is where they want to be,
Yeah, there's always another level.
Yeah, and the minute that you think you've completed the game is a realization that you're just at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me on multiple occasions. You kind of tick all the boxes and you're like, what's next? And then you realize that the whole what next was the actual quest to getting it. So now it's a case of finding the next quest and moving on to that. And
yeah,
I think that's important, is to understand that you're always going to be wanting something, desiring and working towards something till the day that you die. So focus on the right things to do and be patient with the process, because it will eventually get there. And sometimes getting there isn't the best thing. Sometimes it's not, just, that kind of horizon thinking where, a lot of the time you're just running towards a horizon. It doesn't get any smaller, but every now and again you need to turn around to see how far you've come.
Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes you realize you got your ladder against the wrong wall as well. So you're climbing up it and you're like, oh, hang on a minute, I didn't really want to be here. And that's why I know it's a bit of cliche, like, and Gary Vee says it, doesn't he, about enjoying the process and the journey. But it's so important because, like you just alluded to, sometimes when you get to where you think you want to be or have what you wanted to have, actually you realize that it doesn't feel that amazing after all. And that's why it's super important to enjoy that process, I think.
Yeah, but at the same time, not many people will talk about what they don't want in life. They only talk about what they do want. And a lot of time when you kind of know what you don't want, it enables you to look at what you do want. But also that experience comes from climbing up the wrong ladders and realizing that you don't want that. And actually that gives you more clarity on the focuses that you want. I wanted everything when, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I wanted to do everything. And now I look at what I don't want to do. And a lot of what I don't want to do is be away from my family.
Yeah.
I don't want to work after 8 p.m. I don't want to work weekends. And you'd have someone say, well, you can't be successful with that. And, I'd always question, well, why? What is your definition of success? Because mine is having a job that I enjoy doing that helps lots of people, that I get to spend plenty of time with my family. So if your definition of successful is different, then that's on you. And I think it comes down to defining what success means to you. And a lot of that isn't always financial, because, there are miserable millionaires out there.
Oh, yeah, there's many of them.
And a lot of that has come from making sacrifices with things that I actually care about. If I have to work weekends and work, 18, 20 hours days, which I have done, and made me realize that, that was the mistake that I needed to make to realize I didn't want that. So it's a case of focusing on really understanding what you want out of life and then doing the things that make you happy.
Do you feel like now, because obviously I've noticed you've spoken about on social media that 8 o'clock, that's it, you're done. You don't go on social media after 8 o'clock. It's, and obviously you've got a young family, so that's maybe adjusted your thinking and what you put into it. But does now feel like the best place you've been throughout this whole journey?
Yeah, very much so. I think I've been very self-aware of lots of things. I've made lots of mistakes and I've learned from them. And a lot of the time, you get to a part of success where, everyone knows that the answer to anything really is hard work, but it's just having a definition of understanding what that is. Because, hard work could be, getting your hands dirty a lot and getting a reward from it. And there comes to a certain period of time where you build up authority, you build up income, that the game changes. Right. And actually, a lot of people, especially, from my profession of personal training, it's very much a time for money job.
Yeah.
So when you become very, very good at trading time for money, it's kind of that Pavlovian condition where you just associate working many hours for lots of money.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you've been conditioned to believe that one way is how you got where you are, you now realize that what you need to do to get to the next level has to be different, because you can't work any more hours. So now you need to kind of, use that money to trade to get some time back.
Yeah.
And that money is investing in people, investing in mentors that can, guide you the way. It's investing in staff that can do stuff that, that you don't actually need to do anymore, such as answering your emails, such as booking stuff in for you, such as, spending time doing those things so you can focus on the things that you're world class at. And I think that's an important thing to understand, is that actually, you're focusing on now developing the automations and systems so you can work just as hard as in financially and successfully, but without as much actual time invested. And I think the second one to that is understanding that, I used to be hashtag team no sleep, where I'd say if you get up 2 hours earlier, within a year you've got an extra month up awake doing shit. But what's the point in being up doing shit if you're knackered? And the reality is an 8 hour fully rested focused Jamie can achieve a hell of a lot more than a tired and exhausted Jamie that's been up 16, 17 hours working a day.
Because the quality of work won't be as good, will it? That's what I'm a coach, so I coach people, and that lots of people work hard and long hours, and I do occasionally, but you have to appreciate that the R&R is super important, because when you're tired and knackered, you're not going to produce your best work anyway. Your focus is going to be off.
And you're not going to be able to help people. That's the most important thing. I mean, the whole point of you being a coach is to better people. But if you're not bettering yourself, then you're kind of not practicing what you preach. And if I'm not switching off my phone at 8 o'clock and having weekends off, how can I turn around to my clients and people and say that?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think that's so important to do, because you need to lead by example as well.
Yeah, you've got to walk the talk, as it was, because I get people messaging me now and again and go, "Oh, Sam, how do you work at your, you get up so early?" But I said, "Look, I'm in bed by 9. I don't go to bed at 11 o'clock. I might get up at 5 or 5:30, but I'm in bed by 9." And that's the thing. It's, you need that rest. I need that recovery. And I know you talk about that a bit as well, don't you, about rest and recovery and how important
it's understandable.
That is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously from a bodybuilding background, what we understand when it comes to hypertrophy, which is building muscle, is stress plus rest equals growth.
Right.
So you place too much stress on something, it won't grow, because you need all three. This works exactly the same for your brain. You need to place it under an adequate amount of stress and tension for it to grow and get, more successful, and you get better. But without that kind of rest, it's not going to grow. And that's where my best ideas don't come from working in my business. It comes from, being away in another environment, potentially working on it. And a lot of the environment working on it is usually vacations, holidays, and weekends. And I've realized that my success and productivity goes through the roof when I'm able to have time to myself to think, not time to respond.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get employed. How are you doing at the moment with all this? I was going to say rest, but you're not resting, are you? So,
no, I mean, for me, this is the way that I've been kind of explaining it is I was a British Army soldier for 7 years. I spent most of my career going through skills and drills ready to deploy in operations. So one of the most exciting things is being, deployed an operational tour, because you spend your life doing lots of drills to do the thing in real life. So for me, I talk very much about, facing adversity, habits, routines, and that. So when shit hits the fan, I'm not the person flapping, because I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm doing the skills and drills that I've spent many years doing. And people are coming to me and saying, "Oh, how to deal with this, how to deal with this." And I'm like, exactly the same message that I've been talking about for ages. When there is a panic in a pandemic, one of the most important things is to, understand that, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it.
Absolutely.
Or panicking because the gyms are closed. Well, guess what? The new gym is your house, and now you need to be creative. You need to find things to lift and understand the fundamentals of it. There's so much opportunity in this to really kind of reflect on it, and most importantly, take action. This is something that I'm doing. A lot of people are online now. A lot of people are wanting to spend their money and spend their time on things that are going to make them better, but they're also going to want to waste their time as well because they're bored. So my focus is on looking at what people are doing to waste their time and trying to get them to waste their time well, so they can waste it adequately on things that are going to help. So I'm in the last 3 weeks, it sounds weird, I've never been so kind of calm, and kind of having that perspective of going, yeah, this is great. There's a lot of people that need my help now, so it's time to double down my efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, I was just talking to Shara earlier, and I said to her that I feel in a much better place now than I did before coronavirus, and it's had that same kind of effect on me. And I'm very much a routine habits kind of person. I promote that to my clients as well. My day starts the same way every day, no matter what. And so I'm very much into that. So maybe that's why I feel partly calm, because I'm just carrying on as normal, really. I'm getting up, I'm writing, I'm reading, I exercise. I do that every day, regardless. And following the same patterns, and I feel very calm because I feel nothing lasts, nothing's permanent. This will pass. It is an opportunity if you're willing to look for the opportunities, which clearly you have, because I noticed yesterday you put out a new offer and stuff, and it's a time to pivot, isn't it? So for you, you'll pivot in your business, I guess, right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my business is fully online, so we had to I have one of the biggest fat loss challenges in the UK, and of course it's mainly gym based. So with the gyms closing, we need to pivot and change into what can we do at home. Very fortunate that having traveled in many places around the world, and I worked in Mogadishu, Somalia for 4 months, we had to make use of ropes, pulley systems, and things that we had around us to train, and we did very, very well with that. So I'm able to transition some of that creativity into things I'm doing at home and show people, because they've never had to do that, because they've always had a gym on their doorstep, or they've done home workouts which involve maybe push-ups and mountain climbers, not thinking, well, actually I want to still build muscle, I actually want to keep with my progression, how do I do that? And having a point of call for that. So and very much so as well, I've got a new app which I've launched to help personal trainers scale and grow their online business. And I know a lot of fitness professionals have gone from seeing 30 to 40 clients a week to nothing. And they're the people that have been telling me that they're going to build an email list, that they're going to start creating digital products, but never done it. So now's the perfect time. So that side, my app numbers have been soaring up with that, because I've spent many years saying this stuff and writing the courses and showing people, and now they're doubling their efforts down to learn. So it's all good this end.
Well, that's good. No, that's great. And I'm pleased to hear it. Business goes on. It has to. The wheels have to keep on turning, as they say. I mean, so I want to kind of take you back, if I can, rather than sort of deal with the here and now so much, because obviously you joined the army. Was that your choice? Was that a forced thing? How did that come about? I know you said you didn't do great in school, and it was
I mean, I basically I didn't do well at school. Joined college, 2-year certification, which I only got the first year because I spent most of the time drinking. They had this Weatherspoons down the road from the college, which had this thing called Sorry Ronnie, and basically what it was a burger, chips, and a pint for less than the price of an extra value meal at McDonald's. So that would be my lunchtime. I'd have the Sorry Ronnie, followed probably about another 3 or 4 beers, and I'll go back to college, and instead of working, I'll play Bomberman with all the people in there. So I had a real short attention span and nowhere to channel it, really, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And it was kind of, I managed to get the first year of the 2-year. Knew that I didn't really know what to do, but I was quite good with technology and I was quite fit. So how can I combine the two? And decided the best way to do that would probably be to join the army, because I needed discipline. I could start doing some, qualifications and that, and then I'm going to have someone kind of forcing me to do it. So it seemed like the logical step, 17, and actually it was the best thing for me at that time, because it gave me that discipline, that routine, and just sorted my life out to realize that you need to stay disciplined and focused if you want success. And 7 years later, I was a very different person coming out than when I went in. So it very much changed my life.
change you from a boy into a man, maybe. I don't know.
Definitely.
But
I
if you're
mean,
only 17,
it
it's
made me
young.
mature a lot. You know,
Yeah.
I remember going to basic training at 17 on the train. I remember throwing up 3 or 4 times with nerves because I'd never been
Wow.
away from home.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're joining the army and going all around the world, and it does mature you very, very quickly. And it gives you a huge perspective because you've got lots to compare it to.
Yeah.
I spent the best part of a year in Baghdad, Iraq.
Wow.
And you know, when stuff like this happens, everyone's in panic. I'm thinking, well, there's no one trying to kill me or blow me up, so I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my house with my wife and my kids. I've got a really fast internet connection. I can chat to people every day. I've got unlimited videos and stuff to keep me happy, and I've made a home gym.
Yeah.
Life's pretty fucking good, if I'm being honest.
From that perspective, it was.
And it is, everything's perspective. You know, like
Yeah.
one of the most amazing things that, from a perspective point of view, is I worked in Somalia for many months, and the people there are so happy. They have nothing. You know, it's one of the most war-torn countries in the world, and they're happy. They're smiling, and most of the time it's because they got a roof over their head and food for the day.
Yeah.
Then I land back at Gatwick, and people are pissed off because they've got 10% left battery on their £1,000 iPhone, and it just comes down to perspective. You know, if you have that gratitude every day and you reflect and go, do you know what? Fucking hell, life's not that bad.
Yeah.
Then it does help, you know, help keep you calm amongst all this chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you've been through that, like you say, yeah, then you know, this is nothing.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't need to have experienced that. You just need to start practicing the things that actually produce that. You know, because that perspective comes down to gratitude, essentially, because you know, the grass isn't greener. You know, and when you do start desiring things that aren't actually a reality, then that's where those problems run into, because you're just like, you know, a lot of people panic because they've, you know, suddenly the battery's gone dead on their phone, and they look at that as a disadvantage, and you go, well, what's the opportunity here? There's multiple opportunities. You're not on your phone now, so you have to speak to people. You can't immediately get information, so you might have to actually ask someone for something and work it out for yourself. And actually, you can look at it as quite an adventure and kind of logically work it out, and actually you'd be quite proud of yourself that you can get from A to B without needing your mobile phone for it.
Yeah.
So look at it as an opportunity. And I think so many people just don't take that time to pause in things and reflect. They just instantly respond. And I think Stoicism very much teaches you that, of, you know, just looking at things and pausing and not having to respond to your feelings straight away. Just look at what the opportunity is in each thing that happens to you. And the knowledge that you can't always control it.
Yeah, it's how opportunities everywhere if you're willing to look for it. That's what I always say. So, you know, and there's plenty of it right now. But I think right now it's a lot of people, to my mind, are sort of appreciating some of the things that we just so take for granted.
Exactly. I mean, the amount of coaches and people that tell me I wish I could spend more time with my family, and now they're the same people saying I'm sick to death of seeing my family. Make a decision. Come on.
Be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. So, you know, as you said, opportunities are everywhere if you're willing to look at them, you know, and put a positive spin. There's always a positive spin on everything. I think there was a quote that I think it was from even Napoleon Hill or something else. And he was talking about two guys in prison looking through the bars. One saw mud, the other saw stars. And I love that, because it's just a reality of things. Of you can be in the same position as someone but see it very differently.
Yeah, perspective is everything. So, you know, absolutely. So when you came out of the army, I joined the army, by the way. I didn't stay in. I hated it. At 17, I wanted to be in the Navy, and I had to wait past my entrance exam, and I had to wait 18 months. I thought, bloody hell, what am I going to do? So I went and joined the army, and I did my 6 weeks basic training in Guildford, and I'm like, this ain't for me. I left.
Yeah,
bought myself out.
Yeah, it takes a while. I mean, I wasn't sure, you know, where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do, but I knew, you know, what, you know, the position in my life at 17, there was nothing else for me really at home to do. So it was always a scary time, but, you know, I was very glad that I kind of saw it through.
Yeah, no, there's a part of me that did did think, you know, I wished I'd seen it through, but that's it, done, happened. But after coming out of the army then, so did you, was it like 7 years you thought, I'm done, I've had enough of this, you got bored, or what was it? What made
Yeah, I
you
mean,
leave?
for me, I always said I'd leave when I stopped enjoying it. And
Mm.
I always looked at the military as a stepping stone onto something else, not a career path.
Right, so it was
Um,
never a long term, it was never a sort of,
no,
yeah.
not at all. And then I just got to a point where I was 24. I'd spent 7 years in. I was married, still am with my wife, Anna. And
Mm.
you get to a certain point where you're just like, look, there's more to life than this. And I feel a lot restricted in what I do. And as a kid, it was great to have those restrictions placed on you, and being told what to do and where to be. But as you start getting married and having kids, and realizing that your boss essentially has control over your life and where you go all over everywhere, and suddenly I could be saying goodbye to, lucky we didn't have any kids before um before I left, but it's just I couldn't imagine having children. And I take my hat off to a lot of my friends who are still in that suddenly had to deploy in operations for 8 months and not see their kids, and I just didn't want that for myself, and it's such a
Yeah.
hard life to do. So made a decision to leave, a difficult decision, but the right decision. And I left, and you have to give a year's notice, and I went into working in IT because it's the only job I could find afterwards. And kind of funnily enough, with the army, they do give you a lot of resettlement money to do something, and I did all IT certifications because I was looking at the money that you can earn
Right.
whilst leaving. So very much so I was in that kind of work mentality of do the job that pays the most money, not do the job that you want to do or enjoy doing. So I spent a year working in IT. I was actually working for a clothing company, Fat Face, for a year.
All right.
And then got an amazing opportunity by an old military boss of mine to start working abroad. And that's when I started working. I worked in a incredible job for about 18 months, working psychological operations for the US government in Iraq.
Oh, wow.
So amazing job there. Moved from there for a year to security advisor for the UN in Kenya and Somalia.
Wow.
And that led me on to 2012 when I was made redundant from that job. And that was the best thing, that was the best thing that happened to me. At the time, was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So I just bought just got a house from my wife, mortgage, put all of our savings into it, and then got made redundant. So I had effectively £800 in the bank. Flying back from Kenya, not knowing what I wanted to do in my life, just knowing that I've probably got about 2 months worth of scraping money
Yeah.
together before
Survival. Yeah.
And that was the best thing that happened to me. I kind of sat down. I applied for about 20 jobs and didn't get them, and then decided, right, what do you want to do? Wrote it down on a piece of paper in 2012, and it said, look, you enjoy helping people, you enjoy going to the gym, you should be a personal trainer. And I'd always reluctantly not wanted to do it because I thought I don't want to turn my passion into a job, because I thought I'd resent it. Turns out, that was not the thing that was going to happen. Ended up putting £16,000 on a credit card, getting qualified, renting a studio up the road about 7 miles on an industrial estate by a prison in the countryside, borrowed my dad's bike and cycled up there every day to build my new personal training business, which in 3 years I was one of the most well-known personal trainers in the UK.
Yeah.
Fully booked that little tiny studio out within 6 months, and that led me on to building my own dream gym facility and creating kind of what I have now. Closed the facility last year and transitioned it fully online. So
what made you close it then? What was
it was multiple reasons. A lot of time and effort is focused on brick and mortar. What I found is that 80% of our business income was coming through online, and actually we could serve a lot more people for a lot more money. I'd be charging £119 for the gym membership, of which the average person would spend 5 to 6 hours a week coming to the gym, training, chatting, needing to keep the place open 158 hours a week. So I'd have to employ essentially 6-7 staff to keep the place open, which once again 6-7 different people's problems. And I was obviously in a business partnership with my supplement company sponsors, Grenade. They were on the up with regards to their carb killer, so spending a lot of time in there. And it was a very difficult decision, but I realized that I wanted to do things by myself, not be in a partnership. That they were going one way and I was going another, and we kind of sit down and had a sensible conversation of going, if Carlsberg did business separations, how do we do this? And it was obviously a difficult decision to make, what with regards to complete changes, closing things down and redundancies, but the right thing to do. And the best, just over a year from now since that happened, and that was once again a very difficult situation to be in, but also what am I going to learn from that? And 3 years of building my own gym facility and doing what I wanted to do was effectively like a business degree for me. It tested mental and physical limits, which I have benefited from doing that. And once again, it's going up a ladder thinking that you wanted something and it not being the thing. Because if you asked me in 2015 what was going to be your kind of retirement plan, it would have been that.
Yeah.
Thinking that, I built the place and I'm on chapter 10 of my life when I was only on chapter 2.
Yeah.
That's why I say about enjoying the whole journey and not thinking it's near ending, because it's probably only going to be near ending in about another 60, 70 years. So enjoy the journey while it lasts.
Well, absolutely. I believe in that. I totally believe in that, because when you get there, it might not be what you want. It might not feel how you thought it was going to feel. That's for sure. So, I mean, there's a few things I want to talk about, because obviously you've written a couple of books. You've done the Guinness world record, or you hold a Guinness world record. You seem to push yourself physically. You've done sort of is it bodybuilding you've done?
Physique, back in the day.
When was that? What circa was that? Circa what? 2000 and...
So 2010 I was British natural bodybuilding champion. 2012 I was European muscle model champion, and competed on the world stage in 2014. So my last physique show was the European Championships in London in 2015. So 5 years ago. I was 4th in Europe, and then kind of hung up my posing pants that year. And kind of that was always kind of my business and my focus on kind of myself, my physique, and my progress and journey. And what with the family and my love of gin, I wanted to push myself in other avenues, and I found obviously endurance challenges, of which served a lot of benefits that competing did, but also the ability to raise tens of thousands of pounds for charity, and that kind of ability to see what I'm capable of. And kind of 3 events down, it's always still on that kind of quest every couple of years to do something crazy.
Where does that come from then? Because obviously the physique thing, that's so hard to be that lean. I don't know what the percentage was of your body fat, but looking at some of the pictures, it's just incredible. And the discipline to do that.
Yeah, I think it comes down to discipline, knowing yourself well, and the ability to suffer.
Yeah.
So, one thing I say about high level competitors that, it's not that they know the most, because if that was true, every bodybuilder would have a degree, but they don't. It's the ability to do something that they love and find the right reasons to do it. And purely just the ability to go on when you don't want to, like the last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks of training, it's not a comfortable thing to be that low body fat levels. It's not, it's awful.
What's the body fat percentage then when you were in?
I tend not to talk too much about body fat percentage, because a lot of people say, 5%, and they use that as a measurement. But if we get into the nitty gritty of it, I mean, that's just basically on pinching your skin and
right.
And I very much, my last show, I did a DEXA scan, which is essentially a 150,000 pound machine, which you get scanned your body through. And I had the lowest body fat reading in the UK at the time on that machine. So, and that machine read me at 10.2%. So, so yeah, pretty damn lean.
Yeah.
I think when shit hits the fan, and it's kind of similar to where we are now, you kind of find yourself, and you kind of find people's true personalities and where they are. It's that kind of fight or flight mechanism. When shit hits the fan, some people just want to hide, and some people want to get on with the fight. And I'm very much a person who, kind of thrives off that kind of adversity and unknown, because it's very kind of, I wouldn't say kind of spiritual, but you kind of get to know yourself very, very well, know your strengths and know your weaknesses too. And that's one thing that I've always found with the, the charity events that I've done, realizing that, a thought or a feeling or fatigue is telling you to stop, to quit, when in actual fact you just need to push through for maybe another 30-40 minutes, and that will go down, and actually you've got more in the tank than you realized. And I've had that on numerous occasions with my events that I've had. It's just getting through that 1 hour, and then taking it down bit by bit, and just not looking at the overall picture of it, just chunking things down and making it past the next hour.
And do you think that drive to do these kind of things, does you think that stems from sort of being in the army and stuff like that, where you pushed to your limits there? Was it?
No, I think it's a realization. When I was doing the charity event for the box jump, I always have a kind of a saying in my head which kind of solidifies things for your audience. I mean, the 3 events I did, I pushed a weighted sled for 24 hours. I ran backwards for 24 hours, and I box jumped Mount Everest, which was 2-foot box jumps, and I did 14,550. And that, I'm just looking at it up here, 22 hours, 18 minutes and 38 seconds.
I know, that's incredible. That's out of all of them, I think that, the ones that you've done, because I've read them and I know a bit about you. So I just thought, I don't know how you can do that. I honestly just don't know how physically that's even possible.
But that's the whole thing, is like, no one ever tries that. Like people say, I don't know if that's possible, but most people haven't seen. Most people haven't seen what's possible for themselves. They've ran 5 miles, and then they've gone, "Oh, cool, I've achieved that," but then they've got on for the rest of their day and they've done other stuff. So they've read a book, they've put the kids to bed, and that. It's like, well, you could have done more then. If you have you ever done something so much that you literally couldn't move? And I'm not saying go and do that. I'm just saying that we put limitations on our own head. And it's putting yourself through those times of when you want to give up. Most people don't. The last thing that most people seek is discomfort. When in actual fact, one of the things that you need to seek daily is discomfort, because then you get used to your own talk to yourself. And this is something that I do on a daily basis. I get up every day this week. I have got up and sorry, my daughter's.
That's okay.
What's up? Oh dear. What's the matter? Oh dear. Never mind. It's all right. That's all right. I'll go sort it out in a minute, all right?
Oh, bless her.
It's all right. Don't worry. I'll sort it. Sorry, Sam.
No, it's fine.
Benefits of working from
real life. I like it. I'd rather it be like this. It's real life.
Where was we? So discomfort.
Yes.
Like when your 36-year-old comes in and says something that I have done this week, and I've done for over a year now, is jump in the sea early in the morning as the sun rises.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And exactly that thought response. I don't want to do it. I can think of many reasons every day when I wake up when I don't want to do it. It's cold. It's horrible. Even taking your clothes off and the wind hitting you, you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? But this is where the discipline comes from, because if you're willing to do that every morning and go, actually, I never want to do it, but I do it anyway, then actually you condition yourself to do things that you don't want to do. And I think that's so important when it comes to discipline. It's a quote which I love from John Maxwell, when he says that motivation gets you going and discipline keeps you growing.
Absolutely.
Because it's committing to do things and showing up even though you don't want to do it. And that's where consistency comes from. If you just go to the gym when motivated, you won't achieve anything.
No.
If you just, if you want to build your social media following, it means you need to post every day regardless of how you feel. If you just are only posting motivational stuff when you feel motivational, then you're never going to be consistent with social media. And the people that win the game are the people that show up every day regardless of how they feel. And there are ways that you can condition yourselves for that. And I find the gym, quite easy to do.
Mm.
I also hate home workouts. I can't.
Yeah.
The whole reason I get go to the gym is because I don't have 6-year-olds coming in telling me that the drain is blocked. Nothing to do with being in shape. But now I need to find reasons to hold myself accountable to do it. So I live stream all my workouts in my groups, because then it holds me accountable for doing it, and it holds them. So you've got to place these things on yourself to make it easier to do. And accountability can be such a powerful thing, but it's also finding things that you don't want to do that will benefit you. A quote I heard from these two guys called the Happy Pair, which I always credit them for it. And they said, the man that goes in the sea is very different to the man that comes out.
Yeah. Great quote.
And it's so important, because I come out of that sea with a massive smile on my face. Like I can't stop smiling for 10 minutes. I come out of a home gym workout having been glad that I did it, because endorphins are released and I feel good. And it's getting used to understanding the outcome rather than the anticipation for doing something, and knowing actually most of the time you just need to do stuff regardless of how you feel, because the outcome is more important.
Absolutely. That feeling, I always say, when you least want to do something, that's when you need to do it the most. Sort of, I work a lot on habits and routines with clients and with myself. And, I love fitness. Done it my whole life, athletics as a kid. So I've grown up doing it. But I'm so ingrained now, on the days that when I don't want to get up and work out or go for a run or cycle or whatever, that's when it has this weird psyche in me that I'm like, although I don't want to do it, I'm almost keener to do it, because I know I don't want to do it and I need to do it even more. And I'll go out and I'll work harder.
Yeah, and that's the discipline there, because you're questioning your own thoughts. And I think people need to do that on a daily basis. You need to question your feelings and question your thoughts. If you're feeling angry, a lot of it isn't usually to do with other people. It's to do with yourself. It's probably to do with you not doing something. You're not eating healthy, you're not exercising, or doing the habits and routines that you said you were going to do. And when you realize everything's kind of your fault and your responsibility, things change, because you stop blaming other people. And especially when, the situation that we're in now, so many people are blaming other people, shouting at other people, telling other people what to do, without actually taking any responsibility for their own.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why the podcast is called It Starts With You, because it's all about taking responsibility. Everything starts with you. It doesn't mean we go on this journey alone, doesn't mean you go and do it alone, but you take responsibility from the get-go. There's a lot of blaming of the establishment, the government, or whoever, other people. And I just feel when you do that, you disempower yourself. You don't put yourself in control. And if you can just take that one statement, it starts with you, and accept that, then you take responsibility and you put yourself in control, and you can get off your ass and do whatever it is you need to do. Otherwise, you're putting your life in the hands of other people.
Yeah. And I completely agree. I mean, it comes back to when I was made redundant. A lot of people say, oh, you can claim this and you can claim that and you can get that. And I was just like, no. My initial response isn't to get handouts or to find who can help me with this. It's like, what am I going to do in this situation to, get where I want to be? And taking full responsibility for it, not sitting there waiting around for somebody to write me a check or to pay me money for things, and going, right, okay, this world is based on the value that you put into it. And at the moment, I'm not putting any value into it. I'm expecting something from other people, and, wake up in a proactive mindset, not a reactive one.
Absolutely. And we're more resourceful than we give ourselves credit for as well, as human beings. When your back's against the wall, I think we find, what we're made of, really, what potential and what power we've got. It's the same with this whole pandemic thing. I mean, as soon as it kicked off, I was in like, okay, what do I need to do? Because I'm in, I've got a property business, got an Airbnb, and I've got coaching. So I wasn't thinking, let's wait for the government to give me a handout. I'm thinking, what do I need to shore up? What do I need to do? Where's the opportunity? And I'm looking at it from that point of view, taking my own responsibility. And, I saw so many people on social media, like, expecting this and that. And why don't I live in New Zealand, where they've just given everybody $2,000 or whatever, literally just gave everyone blanket money into their account. And I'm like, taking fucking responsibility, we will, I know that we'll all get help because it's global, but equally, don't sit back and wait for it.
But also that's why the reduction of stress should be done, because this hasn't just happened to you. This has happened to everybody.
Yeah.
So it's not just you.
Take comfort in that.
Well, everyone's in the same boat. The only people that are going to make a difference are people who respond correctly to it, and in actual fact, stop panicking. Um, and start thinking about what it is that you can do. And, we're a couple of weeks in now. Don't know when this is going out, but now is the time where, I had a couple of weeks of adjustment and, resettlement into the habits and routines. But this week, everything's back to normal. And by normal,
it feels like that with the shift. I feel like even with the groups that I'm in and people I've talked to, that this week there's been that shift, because I guess this is the third week and people are kind of accepting of the new reality, I guess, for now.
Yeah, and it does take a time. I spoke last week about what's called permanent thinking. And what the whole thing about permanent thinking is that when people have their habits and routines changed, they tend to do things temporary, waiting for somebody to tell them when they can go back to their normal routines. So, for example, the gym's closed, so people will either not do any workouts or do half-ass workouts until they can get their gym back. I say to people, well, imagine now if you were thinking permanently, as in there is no more gyms no more. You can no longer train at a gym. What are you going to do to progress with what it is that you're doing? And now you have to look at the fundamentals of training to go, right, I can no longer use a gym. I want to train this, this, and this. How do I do it at home?
Yeah.
That's what permanent thinking is about. It's not waiting or pausing for your progress. It's adapting to the change and continuing on. And this is exactly the same with everything else. Like, okay, my work, I can't go to work. Great. Everything that I said I wanted to do, I can now do. So let's pivot and change. Let's spend 2 to 3 hours a day learning stuff, 2 hours implementing, making the mistakes, and maybe 1 hour, on the phone, or someone was saying, I did this, and it didn't work. Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong? And that's a great way to spend your day now. And especially with a lot of employees that have been furloughed, they're getting paid to sit at home. They're getting 80% of their wages, and apparently they're allowed to do other work now.
Oh, so are they? They've changed that.
Well, apart from the NHS workers, I believe, I was reading the government guidelines, and you are allowed to do other work. So if you're getting paid 80% of your wage and you're not allowed to do anything by your employer, now you've got the opportunity to do some freelance work or some other things that you've wanted to do, and get paid. So actually, this situation could be amazing in the fact that you're getting paid 80% of a wage plus whatever you're working on, what you've been doing on your side hustle, getting better.
Wow. Going to be better off.
And it's just the way that you look at things. And I think that's important.
I love that whole permanent thinking, though. I've not, I get it, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Is that something you kind of came up with yourself? Or did
I mean, what I tend to do is I have a little kind of notepad, which I write down. I don't have my mobile phone by my bed. I've just got a notepad and pen. And what I do before I go to bed, I read a couple of chapters of a book, write down what's in my head, kind of sleep on it, and then I have a subject which I'll talk about every morning at 7 a.m. down the beach before I jump in the sea. And that was kind of coined last week, and I keep coming up with all these different things, which, I ponder on and I think about. And like this, it's more of a rant this morning because I was interested that I noticed obviously that the word pandemic and panic have the PAN at the start. And I was just like, well, there must be something in that. And obviously having a look through the actual prefix pan is Latin for everyone and all. So when you understand that, it's like when you have a pandemic, it means everyone and all is affected. Same time, panic, when you are panicking and you spread that, everyone and all people get affected. And a lot of it came down for a bit of a rant about a lot of the conspiracy theories and that are going on, and people capitalizing on panic because people are bored, people want certainty in their life. So they are going to gravitate towards confident people on the internet who pretend to know what they're talking about. And unfortunately, as amazing as the internet is, you can listen to two of the same people who have the opposite thoughts, and when said confidently, it can be very hard to understand which one is correct and which one is false, depending on which side you believe, firstly, and secondly who you do the research on. And most of the time, I think one of the most important things with any kind of belief system is if you strongly believe something, one of the best things that you can do is go and find evidence to show that your belief is incorrect. Because we tend to have a cognitive bias called confirmation bias. And what that is that when we believe something, we tend to only absorb and look for people or evidence that confirms our beliefs. When in actual fact, there's two sides to every story. And sometimes when I hear someone say something so confidently, I kind of look into what it is they say, but also look at what the other side is saying. And I think that's so important to have an informed decision, because you need to look at both sides of a coin, to see who's kind of telling the truth, or where their view has come from. And not be so quick to adopt other people's views because at this moment in time you're feeling uncertain, and actually just accepting what they say makes you feel better
absolutely
in a small period. And thinking that the government's got a plan to control us is pretty fucking stupid, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. One thing you said in there about the certainty, and that's the thing, people like this whole pandemic thing is about people hate the uncertainty of it all. But I was talking to someone the other day, I can't think who it was, but we were talking about, but life is uncertain, really, anyway. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, today, or whatever. We live with uncertainty every day. But people don't realize that, they're just not aware of that, and suddenly they're now.
Yeah, I think Tony Robbins spoke about 6 emotional needs for human beings, and them being on a scale. And I very much like to talk about scale thinking, because too much of a good thing is bad for you, as the extremes of bad. So a balance is essentially knowing whereabouts on the scale you are of 2 variables, and knowing that sometimes you need to be a bit too much, sometimes you need to be a bit too little. And uncertainty and certainty are on the same scale, where if you have too much certainty in life, it becomes boring, because you're in such a routine that you tend to sabotage things just to get a bit of uncertainty and excitement back, which you see a lot of business owners. If everything's going swimmingly well and everything's perfect, they tend to fuck something up on purpose because they enjoy the uncertainty, and that's where a lot of entrepreneurs love it.
Yeah, and they rise to the challenge.
Exactly. So sometimes this is where self-sabotage comes from. Too much certainty, but also too much uncertainty means that we're out of a routine. And the best explanation of that is, as much as we like going on holiday for 10 days or 2 weeks, we get to the end of it and we're looking forward to getting back.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to getting back into our routines, back to our walks, back to our talks, back to everything else like that. Because, it's the excitement, the uncertainty of a holiday is great, but we need a little bit. You just want to.
I totally get that.
and that's where you understand is that we're at this period now where people are so far down the scale of uncertainty that they're clambering and climbing to find some extreme certainty. And so by having these confident people tell you this is what's happening, it makes you feel better, even though it's bullshit. And it's just and it's just having that understanding of it.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. I feel like I could talk to you for ages, for hours, which I know I can't. I'm conscious of time, and I've got a whole list of things that I want to ask you. But I really do think I could talk to you for ages. I find you fascinating. So anyway, but I want to talk to you before we finish up about TikTok and Instagram, because I love a bit of TikTok. I'm rubbish at it, but your TikTok videos are freaking amazing. They're just. How many times do you fuck that up before you get it right?
A lot. Like TikTok is something that I committed to do. So I turned up every day, and I do 1 TikTok a day, sometimes more. And as with anything, I did 40 days, 40 TikToks, not really much going on. Suddenly get one viral one, and away you go. And for me, I'm very much, my speciality is social media and understanding the psychology based on what I do. So I pick up on things pretty damn quick, and I learn how to kind of hack the system. When Instagram was getting mass attention, I was getting, in excess of 2-3 million views a week through Instagram, and built up, many followers. And then suddenly TikTok is this new platform where, if you understand the algorithm and the variables, you can win the game. And, less than 6 months, I've almost at 250,000 followers on there. And, now it's starting to transition more into having links in, having swipe ups. And essentially it's going to be the next business tool in the next couple of years. And there's so many people that are reluctant to do it because they're not seeing the benefit straight away. And something that I say is the same day that you pick the so the same day that you plant the seed isn't always the same day that you pick the flower.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you plant those seeds, you keep watering them, and some grow and some don't. And TikTok, I can see as being a very big platform in the future.
Yeah, because you've been on it for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, just less than end of August last year.
Oh, is it? I thought it was longer than that.
No.
Okay.
So
And you just committed to those 40 days then initially, was it? I was just like, I'm just going to do 40 days.
Well, no, I just committed. I said, if I commit to something, it's part of what I do. So I just like, Gary was saying you need to go all in on TikTok. And if I go all in on something, I'm all in. It doesn't take me long to create a TikTok. I mean, they're 15-second videos. So
yeah,
for somebody that can't create 15 seconds, a piece of content, you really shouldn't be doing social media, if I'm being honest. And it's understanding that there's, a lot of people struggle for ideas for content, but the whole point of TikTok is trends and putting your own spin on it. So they have a discover tool, the same as Instagram. It's being able to see what other people are doing, and then make that relevant to your industry. If you are a coach or a small business, and you see a trend, bring it back to what it is that you're about, and talk about that, because that is the creative spin on it. I can't dance, I can't sing. If I was to jump on that and say it's a app which people mime songs and dance, I can't do any of that. Yeah, I've managed to to be successful on it, and it's by understanding what people want.
No, yeah, that's it. It's incredible. I love watching your TikToks. I was talking to my niece the other day, and I said, "Oh, I'm interviewing Jay Alderton. Have you heard him?" She's like, "No, I don't know who he is." I said, "You're on TikTok?" She's like, "Yeah." And I showed her, and she was like, "Oh my God, how does he do that?" I was just like, "Yeah, they're incredible." So, tip my hat to you for that one. They are incredible. Maybe I'm going to commit a bit more to TikTok. I don't know. We'll see. Right, I need to finish up because I've kept you for nearly an hour, which I really appreciate, by the way. I guess maybe just to finish up, what's sort of next for you and your projects? I mean, maybe that's changed slightly because of where we are, but
yeah, I mean, we're in the process of building my new office facility, focusing a lot more on helping more fitness professionals and small businesses with social media and growing the business there.
So you're moving across more to B2B kind of thing?
Yeah, more B2B. I love the B2C stuff. I love the transformation challenges. I love all of that. I love my mindset stuff and talking about that. Got another book in the pipeline over the next couple of years, which I'm going to be working on, and it's come at kind of the right time because it's another mindset book.
Yeah.
And just continuing to do what it is that I enjoy and grow my business and brand whilst enjoying life, sorting out drains for 6-year-olds.
Okay, 3 really quick fire questions that I always kind of like to ask at the end. Nothing to do with business and fitness. What's your 4 favourite foods?
4 favourite foods. Oh, mashed potato, steak. Cool, it's really difficult.
Gin. It's not a food, but
well, it could be argued as food. But let's go bananas, because that's we've got 3. So we've got 3 healthy ones, and then there's these licorice fizzers. They have like candy in the middle and licorice on the outside. They're my dangerous thing, because you get a pack of 8, which is about 1 million calories, and I can't only have one. So we've got to have
a whole bunch. Never heard of them, but I don't like licorice.
Fizzers,
right? Amazing. Okay, it's not on my radar. But have you got quite a sweet tooth or not?
No, I'm more of a savoury tooth, to be honest. I do like a beef. Actually, no, I'm going to remove one of the healthy ones, because that's too fitness per se. I'm going to remove the banana. I'm going to change that with beef hula hoops.
Beef hula hoops.
Hula hoops. God. Amazing.
Gross. I've got a terrible sweet tooth. Just quickly going back to fitness, really terrible sweet tooth. And that's my downfall. That's probably why I've never been as lean as I would like to be. Any tips on conquering that? Because honestly, it's a nightmare.
It's embracing it and looking and going all in on it rather than looking at it as a disadvantage. If you've got a sweet tooth, it's adding it to your diet rather than removing it. Because if you remove things you enjoy, you just create things that are more difficult.
Yeah.
Half a bar of chocolate a day or a bar of chocolate a day, when factored in, is absolutely fine. So play on that. give yourself a reward in the fact that, you know, my evenings when I'm being good, and I have to swap the gin, is usually a Galaxy Ripple, which strangely enough in this pandemic you can't find anywhere.
Really?
So, ladies and gents, if any of you can find any Galaxy Ripples anywhere, please let me know.
Send them your way. I'll send them your way.
So I will have a Galaxy Ripple every evening because that's my treat, and it's something I look forward to.
Yeah.
So to actually have a sweet tooth and actually give yourself something to look forward to at the end of the day, when factored in, is fantastic, because actually if you have a sweet tooth and you can satisfy that every day while still, you know, understanding the fundamentals of fat loss or eating less than you burn, then you can still win the game.
Yeah, so it's a little bit rather than depriving yourself completely.
Dangerous in the dosage.
Yeah.
And I have this thing called red button syndrome, where if you put a big red button in front of you and told you not to push it, you'd want to push it. So if I said you can never have chocolate again, you're going to want chocolate.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. No one's ever said that to me before. Right, I'm going to remember that. Okay, last couple of things. 4 things you can't live without.
4 things. Gin, definitely. Gin, exercise, books, and music.
Cool. What gin do you like? Have you tried Brighton gin?
Yes, I've Brighton gin. It's all right. My 3 recommendations is definitely Monkey 47 with orange peel. Never put fruit in there. Orange peel, or grapefruit peel is quite nice. Botanist with lemon peel is nice, and I'm gonna have a out of the box one which people haven't probably had, and that's Brockman's gin. It's kind of more of a blackberry gin. It's really nice.
Cool. Okay. Very last one is describe yourself in 4 words.
Describe myself in 4 words. Happy, healthy, fit, and strong.
Perfect. Brilliant. Great. Thank you so much, Jay. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, I think I could talk to you for hours. But sadly, we can't. And you're probably relieved. You can go and sort the drain out now.
Exactly. I've got to go sort that out now. Yeah.
Normal life resumes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But thank you once again for coming on the podcast. I do really, really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it.
All right. You have a good day.
Cheers.
See you, Jay. Thank you. Bye.